welcome to another edition of Flea Market Fantasy, the world's second greatest Bronze Age era comic book podcast. Joining me, as always, is new Michael, Kevin Jank.
I'm here and I'm ready to start Shocktober with a scary tale that Mike Dell picked out for this week.
Yeah, all right. Usually, new listeners to the show, a tradition was started by Mike L. In the first year of the show, that every October he used to call it Shocktober, and we would pick horror comics. Well, in fairness, I never look at calendars, and we record this like a week ahead of time or something. So we got confused on the dates. So even though this episode is coming out in October, it's not very scary.
No. Or entertaining, but that's another matter, I guess.
But we'll still promise you 4 Shocktober books. All right? That's our guarantee. This might be a little off in the dating, but it's all right. But anyway, Jank, we have a special guest this evening. Joining us for this non-Shocktober issue is our old pal, Tuffy.
Yeah, hey, sorry. I was just in my research pod probing the multiverse, if you know what I mean.
Tuffy making a nice little reference to the book, yeah.
I want to clean that once in a while.
And the book we're reading tonight is Atari Force, issue 4 from 1984. Yeah, because you hear a book that's called Atari Force. So naturally, it's about Atari and video games and everything, you know? But,
yeah.
It's not about that at all.
It's like Wreck-It Ralph of people just going from one video game world to the other, I'm sure.
No.
Like now you're in Kaboom.
Nothing like that. Nothing like that. Very strange.
Not even a little bit. They don't ever seem to be using Atari joysticks for anything.
No.
Or any kind of tie-in whatsoever.
It is there. The Atari Force, though. All right, we'll get into the storied history here of Atari Force. But, yeah, Tuffy, thanks for joining us again. Last time you were here was Blue Devil, and you had so much fun. You're like, I can't wait to come back.
Yeah.
This could have used more Uncle Bubble.
This just seemed like a Tuffy kind of book, Atari Force, because you're on Kickers Inc., Blue Devil. It's like, this seems like a Tuffy book. Let's bring Tuffy back for Atari Force.
So I'm here for the really bad ones, or what?
Oh, come on. This is pretty good.
I mean, Kickers Inc. was terrible. That was the worst.
Kickers Inc. was amazing. It's a comic book about a football team trying to solve murders or something. I don't know. It's nuts. All right. So,
impression. You don't even know what it was about.
Before we get into this book, though, let's just remind everybody, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We're up to 108 subscribers. 100. Yeah.
Oh, thank you all for subscribing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Pretty impressive. And what else? Yeah, we did Kazar last week, and everyone's loving the Kazar, apparently.
Yeah. Just like me. I loved it.
The Flea army is growing by the day. Thank you very much. And all right, let's talk Atari Force. Atari was in my wheelhouse because I was born in 75. The Atari video game console came out in 1977. Now, you fellas are younger than me. Tuffy, you're the youngest of the three of us. Do you have any knowledge of the Atari video game console at all?
Yeah, my dad's cousin had an Atari. We would go to their house for like family parties sometimes, like extended family Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever. So, yeah, we would play some Atari over there.
Do you remember what games you played as a child on Atari?
Because I'm sure I didn't know what the hell I was.
Now, Jank, what about you?
Yeah, we did have an Atari. I remember having that when we got an NES, but we did have an Atari. I think we had the regular joysticks and like those weird dial ones. So
yeah,
you remember
called
that,
the paddles.
Like, yeah. Yep. That was good for like Pong and racing games. Yep.
Before Atari, Pong was the only video game out there. I remember my old man, we had a Pong too. He was into the video. But growing up, he never played video games. But he always bought everything that came out. He was like, all right, let's get this. I guess he was enamored by the technology. So then when I was a kid, I think we probably got ours around, it came out in 77. We probably got ours around 80, 81, somewhere around there, I would imagine. That seems about the time. And then 82 was rebranded at the Atari 2600. So that's what a lot of people know it as. And then that same year is when E.T. the video game came out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Legendary disaster.
That kind of killed Atari. That and I think there's some other game maybe came out that year that was really bad. So that started to decline, and then Atari kind of died out, and then video games really weren't a thing until the NES came along, whenever that year that was. When was that? 86, 87? Something
like that.
Wasn't there another Atari after that? Like a more advanced Atari than the 2600? It was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
something like that.
I honestly don't even know, because, yeah.
I think I had like a Mario game for that one, even though we didn't have that system. Like we just bought it because it looked cool, and then when we realized it wouldn't work in the one we had, I was so mad.
That's real kick in the pants. Jank, what games did you remember playing on the Atari?
I remember like Kaboom and like Space Invaders.
Kaboom was a good one. I forgot about that. Can you explain Kaboom for people that don't remember?
I think Kaboom was just like there was some kind of criminal up on the top of a building, and he would like drop bombs down, like, you know, bombs with fuses, essentially, the classic round bombs. And then you had to like try to be a guy in the ground trying to catch the bombs before they hit the ground and explode.
Yeah, like in a bucket or something. Like it was just a moving bucket, wasn't it? I mean, just that.
Yeah, maybe it was full of water and it put him out.
Yeah, yes, that's right.
You had to use a lot of imagination of what was going on in these games. Like I remember years later, I bought this game called Adventure at like a flea market.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, this is going to be great. It's called Adventure. This will be very exciting. And then you're just like a square, like one square pixel, and like your weapon is just like an arrow. It's like, this is the lamest shit ever. There was barely any walls or anything to like decorate the landscape. It was just like, ugh, I hate this.
You gotta walk before you can run, you know? There would be no, the video game industry had to evolve, and it started with Atari. Yeah, I remember the very first football game. It was just like one screen. Like you just looked at the screen, like that was the whole field. And then one side had 3 white flashing kind of look like dudes. And the other team had 3 pink flashing dudes. And you just ran into each other. And that was basically it. Yeah, that's football. That's exactly what football is.
Yep, totally.
No passing, nothing, just 3 dudes running into each other. Yeah, it's just like
football. What's really strange is I saw this on the Angry Video Game Nerd before, but there are apparently like Atari porn games.
I don't even want to get into it. What is happening?
Like,
this is a family show, Jank. This is a family show. What are you doing? We'll save that for after the show. All right.
Yeah, look at that. Do some research, scholarly research.
I'll do some scholarly research on that. But all right, so that's the Atari video game system. So this team, the Atari Force, DC partnered with them to release little mini comic books in 5 games from Atari games: Defender, Berserk, Star Raiders, Phoenix, and Galaxian. I only remember Defender and Galaxian. I don't remember. Maybe Berserk. That sounds kind of familiar. Yeah, so each of those titles, they came with a little comic book. There were 5 issues, and Atari Force was born.
Kind of like He-Man used to come with it, like little comic books.
And Gerry, Conway, and Roy Thomas created the series. That Roy Thomas, man, what an influence he's had.
What was his fingers not in?
I know, it's crazy. And Gerry Conway wrote the book we're reading here today. Ross Andrew did the art for today's book. Yeah. All right, but Gerry Conway and Roy Thomas created the series, and they shared writing duties on those first little 5 mini books. And the artists were Ross Andrew, Gil Kane, Dick Giordano, and Mike DiCarlo. So some heavy hitters are involved in Atari Force.
Yeah, DC was pulling out all the stops to try to make this work, apparently.
The original team featured 5 humans searching for a new planet suitable for habitation as the Earth was facing ecological disasters. And they used a multi-dimensional starship called Scanner 1. The team members were selected for the mission by Atari, which stood for Advanced Technology and Research Institute. So again, nothing to do with video games.
Nope, not at all. They just turned it into an acronym.
It's like an odd choice. But all right, I guess. The team consisted of Mark Champion, a former NASA astronaut, and he was the mission commander. Then we had Lydia Perez, also a former NASA astronaut, and she was the pilot and an executive officer. Lee Sana Rourke was the security officer. That was a lady. Mohandas Singh was the flight engineer, and Dr. Lucas Orion was the medical officer. And they also had an alien mascot named Hookah.
Sure do. He's like their Snarf, basically.
Okay. Oh, okay, there it is. Yeah, I was having trouble remember that one. Yeah, Hookah's kind of like a bird monkey cat or something. I don't know. He's a combination. Tuffy, were you a big fan of hookah?
Yeah, I figured that would be Mike Stell highlight of the issue.
I know, like a monkey. So yeah, it's something.
Yeah,
All right.
In there.
So that was the first Atari Force in the video game mini comic books. Then in 1984, they started an ongoing series at DC, and it lasted 20 issues. Gerry Conway wrote the first 13 issues. Then Mike Barron took over. Jose Luis Garcia-Lopez was the main artist early on, drawing issues 1 through 3 and then 6 through 12. Ross Andrew did 4 and 5, and then Eduardo Barreto took over in issue 13. So that's pretty good art. And, Gerry Conway, an all-time comic book writer. So it's pretty weird that all these talents got involved in Atari Force. It just seems like a strange thing.
Yeah. I mean, you got like the Spider-Man Dream Team of Gerry Conway and Ross Andrew back together again to do Atari.
Yeah, that is so strange. Hey, what do you want to do after Spider-Man? I don't know. Let's go do Atari Force. Let's do that together. That'd be good. There's a little tidbit there. Issues 12 through 20 had backup stories by different writers and artists. Issue 20 featured a backup story titled Hookah vs. the Bob, and it was by Keith Giffen, and we just encountered him on All-Star Squadron. We loved his Dr. Fate art in that issue.
That's part of that. Yeah.
And Robert Lauren Fleming and Carl Kessel were also involved. But that story was very popular. It got reprinted in Best of DC number 71, which contained the year's best stories. And it was voted as one of the year's best stories by the Comic Buyer's Guide.
Whoa.
I read it. It was all right. It wasn't that great.
There's no Tales of Zabu.
No. It's basically Hookah. He gets like a little toy android to play with, a little robot. They call it the Bob. And he hates the little robot. And then the robot, they start having a feud. And the robot's trying to kill him. And, but it's just all played for gags. I mean, it's fine.
That's really all you can do with Hookah, I would think. It's not going to be.
Yeah, so it was creative, it's fine. But it's nothing like go out of your way to read or anything. All right, so this second team, the setting is 25 years after the original team disbanded, and the new team consists of Christopher Champion, who is the son of Mark Champion and Lydia Perez, and she died during childbirth, though.
Yeah, apparently. Although it seems like there's more to it than that, because it seems like he's blaming some other guy.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll get there in a second. And then Christopher Champion, he goes by the name Tempest, and he can create dimensional portals to travel anywhere in the multiverse. He can also phase parts of his body through the multiverse to appear in different locations in the same dimensional plane. That could get interesting, depending on the body parts you phase.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This ties back into those Atari games that Jank was talking about.
And it makes sense.
But when his mother died during childbirth, his father left him to be raised by Mahendra Singh and Lee Sian O'Rourke, because I guess they all got married too. So there's a 5-member team, 2 couples. The 2 couples end up getting married, and the 5th guy's left out in the cold all by himself.
Do we see the 5th guy in this book at all?
Yes, he's the doctor.
Guy? Okay, yeah.
All right, so then now my favorite person on this new team, Aaron Bia O'Rourke Singh. She's the daughter of Mahendra Singh and Lisanne O'Rourke, and she's trained as a mercenary, and she has precognitive powers and a psychic link to her brother Christopher, and she has more than that to her brother Christopher.
They're linking up hard.
But her code name is Dart. I like this Dart girl. She's pretty awesome. Like visually,
kind of reminds me of a Zealot from the Wildcats.
I can't remember that. I don't know what you're talking about. Image Comics, Wildcats, right?
Yeah.
I can't really remember Zealot. But yeah, Tuffy, you like Dart?
Yeah. You got some weird purple tattoo stuff going on.
Yeah, and she's got white hair. Now, a lot of times it looks like she's gray, because I thought she was an alien at first, but I guess they're trying to color brownish, to Indian skin.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always transfer properly. But
she's almost gray Hulk gray at certain times.
Yeah. So I went into this thinking she was an alien, but no. She's just her dad is Indian and her mom is Chinese. So
yeah,
I guess that makes a gray child. I don't know, but she's
comic logic. Yeah.
When you mix all the paints together, it just comes out gray.
Yeah, I don't know. But she looks awesome. She's visually striking. And I'm kind of surprised, they don't have, like when I was reading up on these characters, I'm like, oh, someone had to probably snag Dart and put her in some other book, you know? But no, apparently she hasn't been in anything else. I think that's a missed opportunity. Someone should go get this Dart girl. Put her.
If they're all doing stuff with the multiverse, like it feels like she could just pop over into some other universe, like the DC universe, and then she's there.
Yeah, because like Tuffy was saying, she's got these like tattoos on her face and her wrists and her arms and everything, and she just looks cool. I don't know, she's just cool.
They made a blue. Maybe a Dart movie's next.
Oh yeah, if they're making Blue Beetle, they can make Dart. Come on. And she's a trained mercenary. She's like a sniper, marksman, and all this other thing. She's pretty cool. All right, then we have Morphia, an alien empath and counselor. Babe, a giant alien infant who's very strong.
Yep. He's like the Hodor of the story.
Yeah. Game of Thrones reference for Tuffy. Yeah. Pack Rat, a thief who goes berserk when cornered. He's kind of like a little rat kind of guy. But
is he part of the team?
This is weird because at this point I don't think the team's fully together. Like I think
there's not much of a team.
Yeah, we're in issue 4, and I think we're still in the process of this team coming together, which is strange.
Yeah, it seems like the end of the issue might be the instigating incident for the team to join forces.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird because when you're looking at the covers, like issue 1 has a cover with everybody on it, and they're standing like a team, like in a fighting. But it seems like they don't even know each other at this point.
Well, I mean, I guess what was that? Doom Patrol was kind of like that too. Like they had already been a team, but like the team was broken apart and nobody was talking to each other in the first issue.
Yeah.
This Chris Champion, like he's got a short temper on him, so maybe he caused a fight or something.
Well, this Chris Champion's been through some stuff. You know, his mom died during childbirth. His dad left him for some strangers to raise. He's got some issues, this Chris Champion.
He's making out with the girl that he's supposed to be sisters with, supposedly.
Yeah, he's making out with Dart. There's a lot going on here with this Chris Champion fella. There's 2 other characters who kind of join up with the team later on down the road, even after this. Taz, a short female alien who is skilled with weapons, not to be confused with Taz, the former ECW hardcore champion. Blackjack, he was a mercenary, and he's Dart's lover. So this Dart, even though she's making out with her stepbrother, she already has a lover. But at this point, he was presumed dead. She thought he had died at the end of issue 3. So I guess that cleared the way for her to make out with her brother.
Yeah, she moved on real quick. Oh, I'm so depressed. Come here, brother.
But then he comes back around in later issues. And the book is basically about them trying to defeat the Dark Destroyer, who reemerges after a long thought being dead. Yeah, the first series, the 5 issues in the video games, they were trying to fight this Dark Destroyer guy. He's basically their Darth Vader, you know. Mm-hmm. And so now he comes back in this series, and this issue, kind of, we see at the end. And that Dark Destroyer, when Lydia Perez was giving birth to Chris Champion, Dark Destroyer shot her with an invisible energy ray and killed her.
Huh.
So that's why she died during childbirth. The father
blamed. Conveniently. That's not normally how you die during childbirth.
No.
It was just she happened to be giving birth and then also got shot by an invisible ray at the same time.
Yes. Yep. So, man, tough day for the Champion family. But all right, so that's basically all we need to know about Atari Force, I think. Anything else? Any other questions before we get into this?
Do you know anything more about this Dark Destroyer and where he is? Because when he was like searching the multiverse, I was like, oh, he's probably looking for another version of his dead wife or something like that. But no, they're just like, he's looking for some other multiverse where like there's no people at all. And he's like, if I find anybody, then it's just must be this guy.
Yeah, he's looking for Dark Destroyer. Mm-hmm. I think to get revenge.
Did he like get banished there at the end of the old miniseries or something?
They thought he was dead at the end of I think of the first miniseries. But then Mark Champion always thought, no, he's not dead. He's not dead. He's out there somewhere, you know. So
it's invisible rays.
Yeah, they prey on pregnant women.
Yep. He just goes to maternity wards and starts spraying.
So there we go. All right, let's look at the cover here. Jank, would you like to describe it for us?
All right. Well, it's an interesting cover for sure. They're kind of playing up something that's not really a big deal at all in the issue. So I don't know. going to sell you on getting this issue. But it says Atari Force. It's got the logo's kind of slanted, and then it's got Family Reunion right underneath it, and basically the same font and color and everything, making it kind of look like it's Atari Force Family Reunion. It's like a one shot, and it's all part of the title. But no,
that is confusing.
That is confusing.
But I like
75 cents they were charging.
I like the tilt of the title though. That's kind of nice.
Yeah,
angle.
Yeah, it works with the cover for sure, because then the action takes up the bulk of the bottom of the page. We got our boy Chris Champion. He's like teleporting or phasing through something. I guess it's a wall, but it's just kind of a bunch of windows almost.
Yeah, I don't know.
Into space.
When I saw this cover, I'm like, oh, he's going into a video game. That's probably what's happening here. Or he's coming out of a video game or something. No, video games have nothing to do with anything. Just put that in mind right now.
That away.
Right now. Get it. All right.
Yeah, we get a shot of him. He's phasing out of somewhere. And it's basically his head and just his like upper torso. But he's got Dart there. He's got him in a headlock. And she's about to get him.
Yeah, she's got the little Atari logo on her shoulder pad there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is drawn by Jose Luis Garcia-Lopez. It's great art. I love this cover. Like visually, I love Dart. She looks cool. Tuffy, what do you think of this cover?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Again, I feel like they're selling something that's not anything because it's family reunion ? And I guess you would know that they're at least were raised together. Is that something you would know from the earlier comics?
Well, yeah, I guess from the first 3 issues you would know that they're related. I'm guessing. I didn't read the first 3 issues, but she's been away from the family. She's been off.
Looks like she's pissed off, and Chris Champion looks surprised that he's being attacked. So it's like, oh, maybe she's back and they're not going to get along now. But
yeah, it looks like they're having a big fight here. Like, oh my goodness, they hate each other, this family. But that's not what happens at all.
She's come back evil.
Yeah,
some stuff.
What does happen is a bunch of exposition, basically. But
Yeah, this is kind of a weird. Again, we're doing issue 4 here, but I don't know. You think the series would be further along by issue 4 at this point?
This feels
still
table stuff.
This is like modern story decompression, where like Ultimate Spider-Man took like 6 issues to finish Spider-Man's origin.
Yeah, like let's get in here a little quicker. But it's great art. I like it a lot, and big fan of Dart, so I like the cover. But this cover is the most exciting thing that happens in this book.
Yeah.
Well,
that's good. Well, I guess Tuffy's talking about the
the research.
All right. So we open up the book. I love this first page too. It's a little splash page. We get like 9 panels, but they're individualized over a black background. We have 3 at the top, 3 in the middle, and then 3 longer ones, taller ones at the bottom. And they're just showing like Dart's left eye, then both her eyes, then her face. Love that. Then her finger on a gun trigger. Then she's holding like a rifle, which it's kind of a nifty trick how she had a gun in the hand and then she's all of a sudden holding a rifle. And then she lifts the rifle. Then the gun's in her holster. And then we see more of her hip and more of her hip. And then, her lower bits. But that's a great opening page. I love it.
Yeah.
And again, the art here is Ross Andrew and it's inked by Garcia-Lopez. And I'm going to say this is probably my favorite art we've had in a while. I really like this art a lot.
Yeah, I have no complaints at all. This was really damn good. And some of the best Ross Andrew art we've seen, I feel like. He's definitely evolved a little bit from like
and I think
where we saw him in Shauna, the She-Devil.
Yeah. And I think Garcia-Lopez on the inks is a big reason why this looks as good as it does. But man, big fan. Tuffy, how do you feel about the opening page? Are you enthralled now when you see all these little images of Dart? You're like, oh, what's she doing, huh?
Yeah, it captured me. Of like, all right, we're off action now. This person is, suspicious about their surroundings, ready for a fight, ready to go. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. So then we see
her name is Dart, and she's not smoking like 2 darts.
Yeah. Really a missed opportunity there.
Tuffy is quite the dart smoker. All right, so then we see her on the next page, standing there in all her glory in her little outfit there. She's like, has got this red costume on with like blue shoulder pads and yellow belts and knee pads and.
It's quite the costume. It's got like every color imaginable in there somehow.
Again, a visually striking character.
She's ready to go join sync with those shoulder pads.
Yeah, she should be in her own book. Let's bring back Dart. Let's start a campaign to bring back Dart. Let's get her in her own book. But then we see a hand reaching out of the wall behind her, and the hand grabs her rifle barrel, and she just says, "Oh, that's cute." And she grabs the hand, and Judo flips him over, and it's her brother, Christopher Champion. And this is what was depicted on the cover, Yeah. So it's like, oh, they're going to fight now, these two. But Jank, they're not going to fight at all.
No, she's not even like putting him in a headlock or anything. She just flips him over once. It's like, oh, it's you. And that's it.
Yeah. He was just trying to play a little prank on his sister, And he just judo flips him, helps him up, and they start talking. And he phases to turn on a light. He phases his finger. So yeah, that's nice. It's just a finger.
I mean, how does that work? It doesn't look like his finger is actually leaving his hand. So is it more like a telekinetic thing? You can make like a force beam come from his finger?
Yeah, I'm not really sure either on how that works, but yeah, I don't know. But then Hookah comes jumping out of the wall there, and like a monkey, bird, cat, something or other. So weird.
Like, what was that advertisement that had puppy monkey baby? It's
kind of Hookah. And Hookah can only say like Hookah all the time. Kind of like a Groot situation. Well, I guess he can say other words, but mostly he says Hookah a lot. Hookah.
Yeah. Again, Hookah might be the Hodor of this issue.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's a lot of Hodors in this issue. Because Hookah does say Dart. So yeah, he knows Dart. And then he's hugging on Dart.
I do that a lot too. I just go Dart.
And then we see her parents are there, and everybody's welcoming her home, and everyone's happy to have Dart back. But Christopher Champion, though, Jank, he's reminiscing about, he's missing his dad and his mom, because his mom, he never knew his mom,
Mm-hmm.
But he's looking at an old picture of the Atari Force, and they had pretty cool little outfits. These white and red outfits with the white
Atari logo. Yeah.
And the Atari logo is like three vertical lines going up, but the outside lines are like curved at the bottom to go up. So that's quite the nice little logo there. And again, it has nothing to do with the video game console. Even though the video game console had the same logo, nothing to do with video games. So Christopher's missing his dad because he hasn't seen his dad.
He's like seeing how happy they are to see their daughter. He's like, yeah, like I'm never really going to be part of this family. Like I'm just always going to be this outside guy because my parents don't like me. Except one of them's dead. But
yeah,
my dad doesn't like me.
Yeah, my dad hates me. He's a real jerk. Yeah.
Like I'm kind of alone. I got nobody.
But Dart hooks his arm and says, "Come on, Chris, part of the family." And they go walking off arm in arm. This is how my family and I used to walk everywhere. Arms linked. Walking down like Charlie's Angels. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
And then Hookah's hopping behind him. And they go outside and they're looking at the stars. And this Christopher guy, he's still distracted. He's looking up at something shining in the sky. And but it's like a big space satellite situation up there. And his dad's up there. And he's been up there for 20 years, I guess.
Yeah. Just busy plugging away.
It's like me in my bedroom.
Sending probes.
Yep. 20 years. Stuck in a room.
Only he had a nostril cut out. He might loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, he's sending out probes into the multiverse. And he's looking for something. We don't know what he's looking for yet, but he's just sending out those probes. Then Tuffy, I think the empath lady shows up. And again, they pull the switcheroo here, too. They make it seem like an alien's coming up behind him to scare him. But it's just that Morphia lady, the empath counselor. She's kind of like talking to him like, hey, tell me about your problems there, Marchand.
Yeah, like he was sent for a mental health evaluation by his employer.
Yeah. I could use one of those. One of my employers send me a mental health evaluation. So then he's given back the like flashbacks over everything that happened, meeting Lydia, making sweet love to Lydia on the beach. Then he's like, all right, I've had enough of this Morphia. I don't want to be remembering all this bad stuff, How's my wife died in childbirth? I don't need to be reminded of that. Yeah, then they see there's the other guy, Lucas or whatever, or Ryan, the doctor. They're meeting with him.
They're like, there's some weird anomaly in your baby, like some weird zap. It could just be like a problem with the screen, but you should probably look at it later on.
But he's like, oh no, that's probably why my wife died. Because that baby and his damn phasing abilities. Nope. It was, what was that guy's name? Dark Destroyer.
Yeah, Dark Destroyer.
So then Morphia gets beeped. There's a problem. She's got to go check out. So he's like, yeah, Morphia, why don't you hit the bricks? Get out of here. I got work to do. So
yeah, he's mad because his latest probe got destroyed. Apparently they always do.
I hate when my probes get destroyed. So then Morphia goes down to the loading docks, Tuffy. And what does she find down there?
Some guy beating up the big blue baby.
He's yelling at the big blue baby.
Yeah.
The big blue baby. But yeah, they get this giant blue alien infant baby named Babe, right? And they just have him lifting all the heavy cargo on all these trucks. There's this little like foreman yelling at him and stuff. And Morpheus like, hey, don't yell at that big blue baby. How do you feel about the big blue baby, Tuffy? Is this a character you would like to see more of? Because I did not. Yeah, I did not like this big blue baby. I don't know.
He's visually interesting, yeah, but not beyond that, not so much. Not a compelling story so far.
Yeah, I don't like him. Don't like him, not one bit. It's a big blue baby. All right.
Yeah. I mean, I guess every team needs a strong guy.
So then Morphia takes over she takes charge of the big blue baby. She's like, you know what, I'm going to watch over this big blue baby now. You guys leave him alone. And because she's also, there's a lot of family. The theme here is family. You're picking up on it.
It's like a Fast and the Furious movie.
Because Dart comes home to rejoin her family. Christopher feels like he's never had a family, even though he has a family, but his real family's not there. And now Morphia doesn't have a real family, so she's like kind of adopting this big blue baby to be her child. And Morphia looks like how would you describe it? Like the Geico insurance?
Yeah, that's a good description.
A little bit, yeah.
She can get you a really good deal on your car insurance and look out for big blue babies. A little bit.
He's kind of like the classic gray alien a little bit, but more green and
smaller.
But definitely reminiscent of that. Like a Ninja Turtle combined with a gray. Maybe.
So while they're walking out, we see Pack Rat hiding in one of the little cargo bins. And this Pack Rat kind of seems like something out of Dark Crystal. Are you guys familiar?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, definitely does.
Tuffy, you're probably too young for Dark Crystal references, right?
Yeah, I got nothing on that.
Well, he's kind of like, he's got like big ears. I don't know, Jack, how would you describe him? Because he's kind of got like a mane like a lion, but
yeah, he's kind of like almost Monchi-Chi-esque a little bit in certain ways.
Oh, don't get me excited talking about Monchi-Chi. I love Monchi-Chi.
Yeah, but definitely it's got that furry kind of mane. Yeah, like you said, big mouse ears. Kind of just like a more sloped nose, almost snout-like kind of. Yeah, I don't know. Pretty cool. Kind of like that grizzly guy from He-Man a little bit, just a lot smaller.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
Yeah, it looks like from the live-action movie Cats.
Oh, no. That'd be pretty great, actually. Man. So Pack Rat's trying to sneak around the cargo hold here, wherever they're at, and another little mouse kind of security guard catches them. And aren't they like cousins or brothers?
Continues. Yeah, I think they're brothers.
I think it's Raiden.
And the brother's going to arrest them. He's like, I'm a officer of the law, and you're a thief. You're a filthy thief, and I'm going to arrest you. But then Pack Rat talks him out of it, right, Jane?
Yeah, he says like, they don't have an extradition treaty for this new Earth, so you can't touch me. I haven't committed any crimes here yet, so I'm good. And he's like, oh yeah, I guess you got me there.
You got me.
Damn system.
So he just lets him go, and Pack Rat walks away. All right, so now we cut back to the, I guess, is this Earth, right? They're on?
New Earth.
So. Yeah, New
Earth.
I think at the end of the book, at the end of issue 20, they go back to old Earth.
Oh.
Like they teleport away. And, because they've
already healed up in 20 years.
They fight the Dark Destroyer guy, and he detonates some sort of a bomb on New Earth, and they kind of stop him, but they kind of don't. And then, like, the government blames them for not stopping him enough, I guess. I don't know. I didn't read it. But they're like all about to get arrested and thrown in jail or whatever, and they're on trial and everything. But then at the end, they sneak out and they get in this big giant bubble, and everyone teleports to old Earth or something, and that's how the book ends.
Oh. That's a crazy ending. That's like that Luke Cage or Iron Fist book. Remember where like it just ends in like a bloodbath and he's on the run.
Yeah. So I'm guessing they're hoping to have another book after that or something, but nothing really happened with it. But anyway, all right. So they're and apparently on New Earth, everyone follows Japanese customs because they're sitting at like a little Japanese table, like wearing robes.
Yeah. Well, I guess the wife is Japanese, right? So I guess it makes sense.
She's Chinese. She's
okay.
She's half Chinese and half Irish. Her,
maybe it's Irish.
Her dad was Irish. But they're having this little meal, and Hookah's even at the table. That doesn't seem sanitary. Get him off the table. I don't want Hookah at my table. That little monkey cat bird thing. But they're enjoying a meal, and then Chris Champion's like, hey,
monkey cat is exactly what you're looking for.
Well, that is true. It's the bird part that worries me. You know? You don't want a filthy bird on the table. But so Chris Champion, he's talking to his dad there, and Hookah goes running off chasing somebody outside because that Hookah.
Yeah, like some kind of cat. But
then Chris Champion, tough. You mentioned he has a little bit of a short temper. At least with his dad, he does because he. And also, these guys are wearing robes and they're sitting cross-legged on the floor. I don't know if we need to be seeing that. All right? But
that's true.
Dark's taking a peek around the room and seeing, hey, I need to figure out where to go.
Because it really seems like they're not wearing anything under these robes. This kind of seems like post-orgy, actually, this whole situation here. I don't know what's happening.
They're all a part of the lifestyle.
It's very strange. But Chris Champion storms off. He's mad at his dad, for abandoning him. He's like, oh, you just show up 20 years just to show up, visit old friends, huh? Well, what about me, You forgot about your son for 20 years. Well, you're up there with your probes.
I think it wasn't even just him, though. Like, the wife was kind of giving it to him, too. Like, don't let him off the hook. This guy abandoned his son for 20 years.
So, all right, Tuffy, this is the big part of the book everyone's excited about. So why don't you walk us through what happens here?
I just stepped outside for a dart.
For a dart. All right. Well, Jank, this involves dart. So, Jank, why don't you tell us what happened?
So Chris storms off in his little robe. He's going outside. He's going to look at the moon or something or a little puddle. And he's like, I can't stand it, Dart. Just being near him now makes me feel so worthless. Like I'm nothing. Nobody. And she just grabs him by the arm, then pulls him in and Frenches him right there.
Yeah. Yeah. This isn't a brother-sister kiss on the cheek or, oh, come on, buddy. It'll be okay. She goes right at it, And it's like, wow. And Christopher, you can tell something stirred down below, He's like really excited about all this. He's
walking away saying, big sister, question mark?
Yeah, he's like, wait a minute.
It's too obvious.
So this Dart, she's like, all right, come on, Chris, everything will be all right. He's like, yeah, things are going to be okay now. They walk back.
Just till your boyfriend gets back.
And they try, he smiles at his dad. He's like, all right, Dad, I'll forgive you a little bit or whatever, we'll try and make amends. And the dad leaves, but you can tell Chris is still a little mad, He's horny as all hell now, but he's still a little mad. And then Hookah
smiled when I said it though, so it's okay.
And then Hookah jumps in, and Hookah's yelling and flipping out. And here Hookah's hurt because that cat he was chasing bit off the tip of his tail, like the fur from the tip of his tail.
Yeah.
And, everyone's giggling at him. Oh, that Hookah. Oh, that Hookah.
Do you think it just bit the fur off somehow, or did he actually just bite his tail off and he like grew it back, but hasn't had time to regrow hair?
I think it just sucked the fur right off his tail. Yeah. So.
Weird.
Yeah, so this whole book's a little weird. So then we get Mark Champion. He's up in his little space satellite station there, and he's sending out more probes. And he thinks, hey, this probe. I think if I send a probe right here, it's going to hit something. And sure enough, it hits Dark Destroyer's ship.
Yeah.
That's what it hits.
And he immediately hits it with a tractor beam and starts pulling it in. And the Champion's just like, I better make it self-destruct. But it's not working. Not working at all.
Yeah, so now Dark Destroyer's got his probe, and he's sweating. He's like, it's got to be him. It's got to be him. It's got to be that filthy Dark Destroyer,
Yeah.
And he's like,
I just gave him the tools to find us because I sent him that probe.
He's like, no, not if I can stop him. And I will stop him. In a reborn Atari Force, I found him, and he's mine. And he slams his hand down on the computer. And then next issue, Dark Dawning.
Yeah.
What's it say under that? Color next is a C. Oh, there's a note there that got actually printed. Do you read that there?
Color next is a see-through cutout on an otherwise solid.
Yeah, it looks like.
I don't.
I don't know if that's metal or what that would be. But yeah, that's like a little printing note, but it got published in the book. So that's an oopsie.
That's the mark of quality right there.
Yeah. But so there it is. That's Atari Force issue 4. Not exactly thrilling, but
there's some fun characters in there.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. Tuffy, what do you think here? These family dynamics. The issue had a clear theme about family, so that's nice, and Dart, big fan of Dart, right?
Yeah, definitely enjoyed Dart.
She seems
would have been nice if she did it something in this issue, but
yeah.
What are you talking about? She looks cool. She's making out with her stepbrother. What the hell? Not even her stepbrother, like her adopted brother. Yeah. So
I've seen plenty of movies with that plot line, but
very short.
They're all the rage these days.
Yeah. So I don't know, Jank. What do you think? Well, let's talk about the writing here from Gerry Conway.
I mean, again, it wasn't very exciting, but I didn't have a bad time reading, and it did go down fairly smooth, I guess. I wasn't like dreading it and just like, oh, every page is a knife in my heart. Yeah, because I have to keep reading this. Like it was fine. So overall, I'll give it, a pass. It's kind of a filler issue, but it was all right.
Yeah, I liked what he's doing here with the characterizations and building the characters, and like I said, the overall theme of the family. But I would kind of like to get some excitement in there somewhere. If we could just get something. Usually you want to have something in there. But, it is what it is. Tuffy, you seemed to like the writing, right? It seemed pretty solid.
Yeah. It was enjoyable. It was a little bit hectic and all over, because it's like we're with Chris and Dart, and then we're off with Martin, and then off with the big blue baby, and
the big blue baby.
Yeah.
No idea. Especially when they're not a team yet. It's just like, why are we seeing all these random characters?
Yeah, there's a whiplash going on for me because I didn't know who anybody was. And it's like, what? Are we done with the champions now? Now we're just with this big blue thing and the alien, or what?
Yeah, that's why it's so confusing to me that this is issue 4. It almost seems like a first issue,
Yeah.
Because we're just meeting Pack-Rat kind of. I guess maybe Pack-Rat was in the earlier issues, but they're kind of bringing them all together slowly, which is an interesting idea. Like I said, the reason
with like a cliffhanger of, he now has this drone and he can get back to our multiverse or our universe theoretically. So I guess it's got something there, something to give this book some excitement. They just put it at the very end.
Yeah, the writing here is perfectly solid and fine. Very good job here by Gerry Conway. I just, could use a little more excitement. Yeah. But I see what he's doing here. I appreciate it. The art, Ross Andrew here. Again, I love this art. This is exactly what I like in comic book art. Dart looked awesome, and that's really all you need. And
yeah. We don't always agree on art, but I quite enjoyed this. This was really damn solid, I would say. Dart looked great.
This is exactly my kind of comic book art, so good on you, Ross Andrew. I might read more Atari Force. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of want to read that last issue. It sounds like it's pretty messed up. So,
I'm a mark for Dart. I want to read more Dart. So,
see some actual Dart adventures.
And again, the reason I chose this book, I stumbled upon it. I was researching a different book, but I saw this was listed on like a top 10 books of the year, and I was like, "What, Atari Force? What the hell?" So I can see why people would like this. Because it's it's well done, written, the art's great, so I could see why this would finish in someone's top 10 books list if we get more action and stuff mixed in.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see that as of now. I'll say that, but
not this issue, but you could see where the potential was there, right? Like
sure,
a nice little team book here.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like anything special so far. I mean, it was well done for what it was, but I haven't seen any like threads that I'm like, oh, I'm dying to see where this goes.
Tuffy, have you already read more Atari Force?
No, again, I'm heavily into the Zelda at the moment, so I did not.
You don't want to find out what happens to that big blue baby?
Not really. I mean, I'm assuming he's going to be holding a door shut while Bran gets away, and then,
No, that's Game of Thrones.
They're just kind of oh, sorry. Yeah.
Well, I'll probably read more Atari Force. So, Tuffy, what would you give Atari Force? 1 out of 10.
This issue is like a 6, but I could see it being better if there was action involved in the issue.
Yeah, again, for a comic book, you usually have at least one action scene in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's why they had to put that on the cover, I guess, the headlock.
yeah.
Happened
That's
just
the
to
judo flip
try
at
to
the
give you the
beginning.
impression that something happens.
So Jank, 1 out of 10, what do you think?
I guess I'm probably on the same page as Tuffy. I think a 6 is fine. It's not anything special, but it's okay. It's not a waste of your time or anything.
I'm actually going 7 because I love the art. The cover's great, and I love Dart. So I'm giving it an extra point. I'm going 7. And Hook is almost a monkey. Tuffy, all the times you've been on the show, Peacemaker, I think you did a Superman, right? Did you do a Superman?
Yes.
I think so. With Bizarro, right?
Yeah.
And Kickers Inc., Blue Devil, and Atari Force. Oh, yeah, and Star Wars with the Space Hooker early on, yeah. Which was your favorite? Do you have a favorite book of all those that you've done?
Blue Devil.
Wow, Blue Devil.
Peacemaker was good. There was that was a great one, actually.
Peacemaker was messed up, man. That was some dark stuff going on in Peacemaker. All right, so Jack, next week it's Shocktober.
Yeah, officially Shocktober.
Officially Shocktober. So what do you got for us?
Let's scare some kids here. We're gonna do Twisted Tales number 4. From a company that looks like they're called PC Comics.
What the what?
Yeah. This is from 1983, it looks like. An anthology series of horror tales.
Wow, okay. I've never heard of this, but all right. Well.
Yeah.
Are there any known creators involved in this?
It looks like at least one of the stories is written by Bruce Jones, who we just talked about last week. So.
Yeah. All right, so once again, Twisted Tales, issue 4 from something called PC Comics?
Yep.
All right. Good luck finding that one to read along with us. Yeah.
That's not too hard. Just look up Twisted Tales 1982, then you'll get there.
All right, so that's next week, and the Shocktober is officially here. And Tuffy, once again, thank you, buddy. We appreciate it. You know, you're always welcome on Flea Market Fantasy. And I like to think that your life has been enriched by knowing what Atari Force is.
Sure.
All right. Fair enough. So until next time, don't get any jank on you.